The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the July 21st, the magnificent Monday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there's having a great day, and let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it out to steve@tfnn.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, and you should be, then any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Magnificent Monday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, the rally continues out here. You got the Dow up 179, S&P 34, 159 for the NASDAQ 100, 18 for the Russell, 32 for the trannies, 55 for the semis out there, 145 for the NASDAQ composite, which is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count topping pattern today. Out there, we don't have that signal in any of the other indices as we speak, but the NASDAQ composite does have. New York Stock Exchange up 78 points out there. Gold is up $55. Silver's up 82 cents. Light sweet crude is off 19 pennies. Natural gas is down 24 cents. So that's got the August contract. Need to change that one to September. It's not going to change things much, but at least let me just get that proper contract up there. There we go. 30-year Treasury is up 15 ticks out there. There we go. So that was down 24 cents. We take a look at the September contract for natural gas out there. So where do we want to begin? Well, let's first start with the only actual TD other than the NASDAQ composite. Of the instruments that I've got here is a part of the NASDAQ 100, the top 8, Broadcom, AVGO. What you're going to see is actually on Friday, this confirmed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, but a close above the high from 2 sessions ago will negate that. And that high is 288.28. We're at 288.46. But today is also going to be the bar following bar number 9. So you will have that top out there. Now, what that suggests is just a retracement either to its oscillator and change line, which is just $1 below where we're trading, or the top of its profile, 277.48. Here's the however. If you take a look at the monthly time frame chart below, monthly time frame chart does not have any kind of a top. It negated a TD9 count top in December of 2024 out there. Price did pull back and test the bottom of its profile support. It did that in April of 2025. And since then, obviously, we're trading now at new all-time highs. If we take a look at the weekly time frame chart, it formed a TD9 count top. It did that on June 27th and negated it the very following week. This has got a strong upward momentum move. So much like many of the instruments we have looked at, the weekly time frame chart has negated topping patterns. Typically, they're TD9 count tops. The daily may have some short-term tops, and the monthly does not. And how you interpret all of that is the intermediate and longer-term time frames are telling you we're headed higher, and the daily's just got the heebie-jeebies and has got to do some stuff to, resolve that, maybe test support, things along those lines out there. So Broadcom is the one that's going to form a daily TD9 count top. Is it anything of significance? I don't think so. I could put the NASDAQ composite up here. Just don't pay attention to the profile levels that show up. They're truly irrelevant on this chart. But you'll see that today is going to be The bar following bar number 9 out there. Again, price should pull back to test its oscillator and change line, which is about where we're trading really right now. We don't see any kind of a topping pattern inside the monthly time frame. We don't see anything. The weekly time frame negated. It's T9 on top. So NASDAQ Composite maybe just got a short term, maybe just a simple 2-day retracement out there for its daily time frame. If I take a look at the NASDAQ Composite and we come take a look at the wow. You go all the way back to the April 7th low out there. We did have one 4-day pullback and only two 2-day pullbacks. Everything else since May 22nd has been a 1-day retracement out there. Strong like bull. I do see we are in wave number 7 out here as well. It's the second time through. Now that needs a lower high to confirm a top inside the NASDAQ Composite, but the TD9 count will do it, so we don't have to worry about really trying to seek out or find two tops out there. If we take a look at what's going on the advanced client oscillator, we have been below the 0 threshold level. Are we still below it? Let's go find out. That's going to be in your lower left-hand side, and it is just above the 0 threshold level. So let's assume that it closes above the 0 threshold level today, and if it closes above it tomorrow, that tells us that buyers are the ones that are in control of the market. That would be complementary to the spot VIX index, which is trading below its 50-day exponential moving average. The spot VIX is trading at 1643. The 50-day exponential moving average is at 1870. So we're well below that. You get these two indicators to get into agreement with each other, and then we should rally further. Really, Steve-O? Well, remember, July is the most favorable seasonal month for the S&P 500, going back over a 97-year period of time out there. This is the S&P 500. Here is the 97-year period of time. Here is the month of July. You'll see it's the best performing month. The red vertical line is where we're at today, which basically says we should have bottomed and that we should continue now to move higher into the end of September. Now, this chart here that we're looking at, this is the typical seasonal cycle chart. So that's one. But the analog that the market really seems to be following along is the post-election cycle. In other words, the post-election cycle said we should bottom right around April 7th. We bottomed on April 7th out there. This suggests that we could get a top as soon as the early August timeframe, August 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that, with the market moving lower, in essence, into that October timeframe. So again, now July is the most favorable seasonal month, even during the presidential the post-election. I want to make sure I did. Yeah, post-election. Yeah, the post-election in a cycle, which is what we're in right now, and so we'll keep an eye on things. But right as we speak right now, only topping signal we've got from an indice out here on a daily time frame is coming from the NASDAQ Composite. What else do we want to take a quick peek at? Well, let's go take a look at Apogee and Perigee, which came in on Sunday, I think around 10 o'clock in the morning out here. And when you trade above those levels or below those levels from a short-term standpoint, they tell you whether to be bullish or bearish. Well, you can see that the number's about 63.35.75 for the ES Mini, 23.232.50 for the NQ, 44.537 for the Dow. The Russell's at 22.51.30. I give you those numbers. We're trading well above those areas, but should we get any kind of a pullback, what you'd be looking for is for price to find some support at those areas. If you take a look at Goldilocks, that number is at 33.55. Silver, it's down at 38.42. Light sweet crude is at the 66.04 level. We're trading below that. So on its rally, watch that 66.04-ish area. And we're $3.50 on the September contract for natural gas. Could even be $3.59. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the daily equity future contracts up on my screen out there. The blue numbers, blue digits are really referring to last night's open. Last night's open would be the Perigee pivot point. It's either going to be Friday's close or last night's open. And as you can see, Friday's close is not much further away from last night's open for the 4 equity future contracts out there. So since it came in at 10 o'clock in the morning, yesterday, 9:56 a.m., that was right about when Scotty Scheffler was getting ready to birdie the first hole. That told us all we needed to know out there, didn't it? That he had a 4-shot lead. Nobody had even come close in the morning session out there. Everybody teeing off in front of him, and he birdied that first hole. It seemed like it was a foregone conclusion out there. But with regard to the ES Mini, you'll see that we are trading about profile resistance. It's running into its green oscillator and change line right now. If it can close above that today, it'll be full out hammer down to the upside. The oscillator and change line is 63.70.75. So we close above that. Odds favor a further rally. The NQ is traded above profile resistance. It's traded above its green oscillator and change line at 23.375. So it is in cruise mode to the upside. The Dow equity future contract and the Russell are the two that are struggling here. The Dow, not even being able to take out the oscillator and change line, which currently is printed at 44.876. It is a consolidation with inside its profile. But what I'd be watching for the next 2 weeks really is 44.537. If we start trading below that, we're trading below the Perigee pivot point. We're likely going to go target its buy zone, 43.9075 to 44.376 out there. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the Dow is going to rally. I think the Dow will target its TD9 count top at 45.177 out there. I say that because the equal weighted Dow equity future contract is more in breakout mode than the Dow equity future contract. Russell 2000. Numbers here, we've got a Rhodes momentum indicator. First, you got a TD9 count top. That TD9 count top formed on July 3rd. So it closed above that high, which is 2280, negates that signal. But then we got a Rhodes momentum indicator top on July 11th. So it's the high of the pattern, and that would say it's the high from July 10th. And that's at 2292.60. So those are the two levels that price must close above to negate its topping pattern to suggest that we are truly on the way to the north out there. So that's the daily time frame charts out there. We do have some requests that have come in, so why don't we start getting to those out there. The first one coming in from Fletch, and Fletch wanted to take a look at ticker symbol AG. As we pull up these charts out here, we're going to try to pull them up. We've got AG right now that is trading above the top of its daily profile. That number out there, Fletch, is 866. So if we close above 866, and the next price target, next resistance level is around 891, daily oscillator and change line. If price can close above that, you'll get back to its highs. The weekly time frame is likely to form a TD9 count top on Friday. In order to do that, AG must close above, this is on Friday, must close above $8.02. We're at 872. So that's the number to be watching. If we close above 802, what did I say? I think it was 802. It was 802. If we close above 802, you'll get a TD9 count top. And now what that suggests out here, Fletch, is that price would pull back to test its oscillator and change line at 799. So the daily's got resistance around that 890 level out there. Weekly is suggesting to move lower. The monthly is saying, well, Steve-O, you know better than I do. If you can close above 839 out there, you've got a real nice monthly breakout on ticker symbol AG out there. So you were traded lower for 5 consecutive days. Seems to me like maybe you get at least a 2-day knee-jerk reaction move to the upside. Then it starts moving lower again to go test that weekly oscillator and change line. Now that may take place over the next week or so. At least during this week. So that's what I see when I take a look at AG. Fletch, I hope that provided the information that you were looking for. Nitram wants to go take a look at Oscar Mayer out here, OSCR. Don't worry. Steve will get it. Oscar is trading out at 1424. Now, what we don't have out here is any kind of a bottom signal. I'd be hard-pressed to come up with an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. I might be hard-pressed to come up with anything for a bottom. All right, here we go. Here's where it is. So this Oscar was simply closing the gap. And this thing had gapped up on the trading day of May 7th. The low of that gap was at 1531, but the high of the prior session out there, and that's really where the gap begins, is at 1331. And we got down on Friday to complete that gap. We got down to a low of 1305. So that gap is closed. We did it on volume of 65 million shares going into, whoa, the heck was going on here? So that was 65 million shares to the downside. When this thing broke out, that breakaway gap is only 29 million shares. Wow. That's wild. So I would have thought that it would have closed that gap with lighter volume. It hasn't. What does it mean? Well, right now what it means is we are pushing lower with volume, and we're trading below the daily profile out there at 1446. We are also Nitram trading below the weekly profile at 1449. That says that if price does not get back inside those profiles, Oscar wants to make a run for 1228, and 1228 would be the bottom of its bullish structured buy zone out there. That's between 1228 and 1424. So that's what I see when I take a look at Oscar. You got to watch 1446 and 1449. Those are key levels that you want to see price get above if you are long this instrument. BT out there is a second instrument for Nitram. And BT is trading out at $3.65. It is pulling back. Not that I have a topping pattern, but it is pulling back and it is trading inside its profile, and it is testing its green oscillator and change line right at about 361. So if price were to close below that, it tells you on the daily time frame it's lost momentum and would likely target profile support, and that next level will be 315. So it has hit support right now. The question is, does that still hold going into day's end? The weekly time frame chart has a sell the D point top. That took place 2 weeks ago with that bearish shooting star. However, there was a gap to the upside, so it really wasn't a shooting star if we fill in that gap. So the weekly time frame does not have a topping pattern. Price is traded above its oscillator and change line. It's red, so it's not as strong as if it were a green oscillator and change line, but it is traded above it. It is traded above profile resistance, and it is traded above its breakout level, which was 347. So 361 ought to hold out there, but we'll find out. On a monthly time frame, what we've got is price consolidating inside its monthly profile. It is traded into its buy zone. That buy zone, or sell zone, I should say. The sell zone begins at 355 and it ends at 480 out there. So that's BTBT for Nitram inside the Tiger's Den. Piper wants to take a look at TSSI with the question, should they take profits or let it run? So, let's take a look at this. We have a daily TD9 count top, Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. We've got a weekly TD9 count top, and monthly we got nada, zip, zilch. All right, so that TD9 count top, the time to have taken profits would have been probably on June the 27th or July the 1st out there with that TD9 count top. The work to the downside may be done. Price pulled back, didn't get, and when it pulled back, it was trading into the buy zone of the profile that was present at that moment in time. And now we are trading above resistance out there, the green oscillator and change line. This is definitely not telling you to take profits right here. We'll finish looking at TSSI for Piper when we come back from this break.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. We're looking at ticker symbol TSSI. We began that review for Piper inside the Tiger's Den just before we were going into that breakout here. So, when I look at a set of charts out here, and I think it's super important to be looking at the daily, weekly, and the monthly timeframes to really get a feel for what is being communicated to us. One of the first things that I do, the very first thing that I do, you guys know this, is I look to see if there was a top and a bottom, the most recent top and bottom out there. And then once I identify that, I just say, okay, what has it done since then? In other words, it formed a top out there. Has it formed a bottom? Or if it formed a bottom out there, has it formed a top? So that's really the first process that I go to. Then the next process is where we trade in relationship to support and resistance. The question from Piper, should we take profits or let it run? So, if we have found a top, but then we see that it is likely bottom, such as the daily time frame. Price got back into the buy zone at that time. That was on the trading day of July the 14th out there. So price had pulled back. There was an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. There was a bullish reversal candle that confirmed on Friday. That confirms the buy the D point pattern out there. So, and now we have today price trade above resistance, two resistance areas. The first being 23.79, the top of its profile. The second being 25.89. Now, I do not know if price is going to close above the green oscillator and change line at day's end, but keep your eye on that, Piper. If it does, then that is telling us that what price wants to do is go attack that TD9 count top. That's the first thing it's saying. Now, proof of that would be volume and where price is trading. Can price get into that low? That would be 27.89. So far, the high for the day has been 26.87. But can price get in there, and can price close inside that, meaning close above 27.89? If it does it more than 3.37 million shares, and today so far, in 2 hours of trading, it's done 1.9 million shares. It's almost a 6 million share day. So price is pushing higher with volume. But if it closes inside that swing point with volume, that increase the odds that price is going to go target that high. So the daily is saying, Piper, do not take your profits. Let this thing continue to run. The weekly chart, which had a TD9 count top, pulled back and tested and rejected that green oscillator and change line out there. Price right now is trading above the top of its weekly profile and its green oscillator and change line. So as long as price remains above 23.57, that is telling us we are going to go back and test its highs. Now, the volume on that swing point is too early to do a weekly analysis, but the weekly had 17 million shares, and again, we're already got 2 million shares in just 2 hours of trading. That's suggesting to me that we're going back at that high. If we take out those highs, that's telling you to stay inside this trade out there. And the monthly chart is really the one that supports that idea. No topping pattern that I see at this point in time. So, Piper, I hope that all made sense to you, and actually made sense to everybody with regard to at least a method or a way that I begin to analyze a stock chart. And I want you to, you're watching the show, you can go watch archives, you can see the tools that are on here. They're typically for your instruments that you're making the request. I want to be able to pull up a set of stock charts that you can use my tools on, that you're looking at there, to be able to understand what the using those tools, what the message of the markets are. We're going to go take a look at the S. This is for Duncan. Steve inside the Tiger's Den. We've got S that is trading out at $19.54. So on a daily time frame, immediately does anything stick out to you as a top? I see an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. I see a bear separating line out there, so confirm that top. What does price do? It pulls back to its second breakout level where it bottoms at 17.04. Now we are trading above the top of its profile at 18.45. Two consecutive closes above that are going to generate a bullish profile small change in trend. Now, what price is doing, it's running for the swing point for back on May the 14th. The low of that swing point was 20.06. The high so far today is, I believe, above that. It is at 20.03. We've got volume of about 7 million, 6.8 million so far. Going into 3, you're pushing up towards that swing point with volume, Duncan. It ought to go attack that. It ought to be able to attack that and may be able to take that out, which could form then a daily A to B equals C pattern to the upside. On a weekly time frame out there, you've got a nice TD9 count bottom. Looks like this is really setting up an A to B equals C pattern to the upside with that low coming in the week of May 30th out there. On a weekly basis, you're also going to push into that swing point. That has a volume of 17 million shares, so just something to keep in mind out there. But it looks like this is trying to form a daily and weekly A to B equals C pattern to the upside. And on the monthly basis, you're back inside his profile. And that range runs from at the lower support at 1882 to resist up at 2779. So, Dunk, that's what's going on with ticker symbol S. And yeah, that's Scotty Scheffler. He is something out there, right? But, you listen to him and how he practices. And one thing he has, and he's a great putter, for sure. It's turned out to be a great putter. But the one thing he has really had is, man, he is able to hit targets. He is able to hit targets, which you got to love out there. But more importantly, his distance control is as accurate as you can possibly get. All right, so CLF, which is what you wanted to take a look at, Dunk. Looks like you're going to form maybe another A to B equals CD pattern to the upside out there. We've got no topping patterns other than negated TD9 counts out there. The swing point that it's dealing with, it's taken out July 11th, which had 21 million shares. We have traded so far 26 million shares. Holy shnikes out there. All right, so CLF, Cleveland Cliffs, is going to deal with resistance. And that resistance is twofold. First is going to be the top of its weekly profile. It's a bearish structured weekly profile, so closing above 1088, we're at 1081 right now, would be a bullish outcome. Secondly, 1123 is the next area of resistance. That is the area on a monthly time frame chart where CLF would come to an end. The rally would come to an end. That would be where a counter trend move would end. That's at about 1123 out there. So, I don't know whether this is just a counter trend move at this stage here or not. It looks to me really more like a bottom. And so it should be able to take, if it can overcome, if you can close above 1123, then what that would tell you is that 1423 would be next up out there. So you got to like the daily. And the weekly, question is, and the swing point that it's dealing with, by the way, is back on February 14th, 155 million shares. But it looks to me like we're attacking that with volume. So just got to take out that resistance level there. That's at 1088, Steve-O. You do that, and this thing is definitely headed higher. So hope that helps you out. Thank you for your request, as always. ELO inside the Tiger's Den, Jeff Lynne, Electric Light Orchestra, one of my favorite bands out there. I've got many favorite bands. Saw Jeff Koshua on Saturday evening. Boy, he is good. He's really a great sax player. Well, the cool thing was we got the second show, and I said to my wife, we were sitting right in the very front. I said, "Hey, you want to see what he's going to play tonight? There's the song list right in front." And so we're trying to read it upside down, and he comes out and he says, "Hey, the first show was just a warm-up. I really want to have a good time. You guys want to have a good time?" Everybody says, yeah. He says, basically, we're shit-canning the playlist. I want to play this next. And then it was really a great concert. In any event, we come back from this break for ELO. We're going to take in Coinbase, which trade out at 434.03. Be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got the Coinbase ticker symbol COIN up on our screen. This is the daily time frame that we are looking at. And what you will notice, or should notice, the first thing, remember, first thing we take a look at the chart, where are we at? Is there a top or bottom signal? And what has it done since then? Well, the topping signal was the TD9 count pattern. That formed last Thursday, July 17th out there. And the very next day, price closed above it. That tells you about a very strong upward momentum move on a daily time frame for Coinbase. This should rally further. The only thing to worry about is things are just a little bit stretched right now. It is not really a worry. We're trading about profile resistance, green oscillator, and change on. We just negated a daily TD9 count top. Now, we need to understand if there's resistance on the weekly or monthly. But the daily time frame has got no resistance. If it were to form a bearish reversal candle, because there's a Rhodes momentum indicator signal present, that would be a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Now, I opened up this chart for a very specific purpose. What you and I are doing, we're taking a look at charts out here, at least what this show is about. We're looking for consistency in patterns out there. Sometimes you get a stock chart that is just simply schizo. There's no pattern whatsoever to take a look at. And those you just kind of move off to the side because there's really no way to interpret them. But in this case here, because oftentimes the most often asked question is, where's the buy point? But the buy point could be, where am I adding to a position as well out there? So the buy point doesn't necessarily mean not necessarily just initiating a trade out there. Now I want you to take a look at this really pretty cool since we created this, you and I. If you look at the very bottom panel of the screen, that shows us the consecutive days higher and consecutive days lower out there. If I were to ask you, ELO, and everybody else out there, where is a buy point? Where would you add to Coinbase? Look at those. Look at since the TD9 count, Rhodes momentum indicator bottom back on April 7th. What have we seen? 2-bar move to the downside, a 2-bar move to the downside, 2-bar knee-jerk reaction, and a 3-day knee-jerk reaction. 1, 2, 3, 4 more 3-day knee-jerk reactions. 1 more 2-day knee-jerk reaction. The place to add to Coinbase out here until it fails is after a 2 or 3-day knee-jerk reaction low out there. We don't need we don't need anything else. This pattern's going to work until it starts to fail out there, but it's been working pretty good since April. So if you were asking ELO, where's the time to add to your position? It's going to be after day 2 or day 3 on a pullback or retracement. We look at the weekly time frame chart. What do we see out here? We do not see any kind of a top whatsoever. We look at the monthly time frame chart. That is true as well. Coinbase is back to its original IPO level out there. That's at 429.54. Now, volume back then was 227 million shares. Today is the 21st. We're up at 192 on a daily basis. What does this thing do? I'm not really going to be able to figure out the math on that, but it looks like 14 million, 28 million shares. So it looks like on a monthly basis, prices coming into that swing point with volume out there. But obviously, it's going to be a big party if if this thing closed about 429.54, because we can say that at least everybody since the IPO would at least be in the money. How about that? It's taken since April of 2021. To get back to the IPO high price for Coinbase, but it's doing it in a real nice fashion out there, and it should continue to move higher. So hope that helped you out, ELO. Dennis wants to take a look at Nova Gold. NG is a ticker symbol out there, so let's go pull Nova Gold up, see what it is doing out here. Nova Gold is trading out at 563, having a heck of a month, having a heck of a week. Now, on a weekly basis, you're about to enter week number 8 of a TD9 count. What that says to us, Dennis, is that Nova Gold is likely to form a weekly TD9 count top between this week and the next 2. Hey, Steve-O, could you get maybe a little bit more specific? You're giving me a 3-week time frame out there. That's really the best that I can do. What can we do that's a little bit better than that? Well, we look to the lower time frame, which would be the daily time frame, which is in bar number 6, as a Rhodes momentum indicator signal needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm a top out there. Short of that, price should continue to move higher as it is above resistance levels out there. Now, let's say you could get a TD9 count top or Rhodes, but you could get a TD9 count top. Today's 6, so Tuesday 7, Wednesday 8. So between Wednesday and Friday of this week, or bearish reversal candle could identify a top as well. That's how we would get more information to know whether or not maybe the weekly is going to top out on week number 8. So monthly, though, is looking good. Monthly says I want 668. So I think this wants to continue to trade higher. We just have to be paying attention to the daily time frame chart. And then if we do get the top, I'm not sure just yet that would tell you to sell that position. We'd like to see how many consecutive days to the upside out there, and is price just going to pull back to test its oscillator and change line. Currently at the Who's one of their favorite tunes, 515, right? So that's what I see when I take a look at Nova Gold out there. Hope that helps you out, Dennis. Always good to hear from you. That's Dennis from just down the street. We're going to go take an ARCC. That is for Joanne. And ARCC is trading out where? It's trading at 2302. It formed and completed a TD9 count top on Friday, Joe. And price right now is pulled back, done what it's supposed to do, or at least done the first thing it's supposed to do, and that is get back and test support. And that's that green oscillator and change line, currently printed at 22.94. Now, if price were to close below that, that would take us back to the buy zone. That buy zone is between 22.67 and 22.76. This is also going to be day number 2 to the downside. Just like the process we went through just a moment ago, coming off of the April lows, we took a look at Nova Gold. Here what we'll see is that its retracements have been 3-bar or 2-bar knee-jerk reactions. So what ARCC is suggesting to you and I, Joe, and everybody else out there, is that's likely to bottom either today or tomorrow out there. I wish I could tell you which one it is. It's got the potential for it being today, with that green oscillator and change line so far holding up. The weekly time frame, the pattern that it has, looks like an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. The B point had 25 million shares. It was taken out with 14 million shares last week. 14 million shares, so it doesn't have the volume. All right, so it's got an A to B equals CD pattern formation, but doesn't have that confirmed volume. So what else is it doing? Turns out it's trading into its swing point from back on February 7th, and that swing had 35 million shares. We tested it and closed inside it on Friday with 14 million shares. If for any reason this closes below 22.46, does it on less than 35 million shares, you'll have a test and rejection of that swing point. Right now, we're trading inside that swing point. Even though it's on light volume, we are also trading below profile support at 23.09. It's just the beginning of the week out here. You did have 4 consecutive weeks to the upside. This could be setting up with 2 consecutive weeks to the downside. At least that's the weekly chart. So we've got to take that into consideration. The monthly time frame, the swing point has volume. It's February 2025 of 85 million shares. We're up in this month with half that volume, 40 million shares, 39 million shares out there. And price right now is dealing with resistance on the monthly time frame. That's at 22.94. We're at 23.01. So now I'm not so sure if that daily is going to hold up or not out here. So, excuse me, got a fur ball. You'd think there's lots of dust in my office, but there's not. Joanne, I think we need to take a look at this maybe on Wednesday or Thursday out there, just to try to get a better read. On this. So sorry that I couldn't be more specific. I was as specific as I could be, though. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. Nicholas writes in, wanted me to take a review the NQ charts out there. As I pulled them up, what I noticed was the 2-hour time frame chart was going to go ahead and form a TD9 count top as we come in the next 6 minutes, as we come into the noon hour. Now, the 2-hour chart bar completes at 12 noon. The next one at 2 p.m. Remember, the high of this pattern can come at the bar following bar number 9. So then what I did was went to the 120-minute charts to see if we have some consistency here, and we do. If you take a look at the ES Mini is also completing a TD9, as confirming a TD9 count top. So too the Dow Equity Future contract. Each 3 of those are in bar number 9. That will go ahead and complete at 12 noon. The Russell is 1 bar behind, but it's got bar number 8, which is the high of the pattern. So that is likely to qualify as a TD9 count. It still has to complete bar number 9 at 2 p.m. and that means that it needs to close above at least 2264.80. So there are TD9 count tops to be aware of. We could be getting a topping signal by 2 o'clock and then likely a pullback, maybe even going into the close. Not saying a crash or anything like that, just simply, the way the markets trade. But take a look at the NQ charts out here, see if there's any other signals here for Nicholas. The answer is no. The answer is no with regard to me being able to identify some kind of topping pattern. So that doesn't mean you don't need to take a look at the other intraday charts out here because you're trying to understand, is anything starting to move lower consistently? Is it any kind of bottom pattern, or is it breaking support? And so support, let me rifle off some numbers for you. 23,356, 23,364, 23,344, 23,245, 23,193, 23,192. Those would be the numbers that we'd be looking for. The way that these charts are set up, the 2-hour time frame chart is really just suggesting this should be some kind of a short-term pullback, with 23,308 to 23,31 being the price target. Folks, thanks so much for joining me. Hey, tomorrow morning, I'm going to record the show between 8 and 9, so I'd love you to join me for tea and crumpets out there. Well, of course, we'll replay it between 11 and 12. I've got to go head over to Naples tomorrow for the day, so hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Have a magical Monday, folks. We'll see you soon.